Hello, everyone. How is everyone today? Hope everyone is good. Day 1 of a 9-week trial, and Harry looks like a winner. Meanwhile, Piers Morgan is out here huffing and puffing in the hospital, being an absolute god-on loser, as he's always been. We are going to get into all of that. Thank you so much for streaming in early, everyone. Who is this? Who said? I just saw something. Dawn has it the first time catching a live. Well, welcome. Welcome to your first live. Hi, Joan. Hey, Helen. Hey, Laris. Hey, Gary. Okay, we're going to get into it. And there's a few things to get into. Let's start with some joy. Meghan posted a story ahead of Harry's trial. And from that story, I took some stills, and it was these 4 lovely pictures. So we've got, first of all, let's start with Archie. Archie, whose hair is red. His hair is definitely, like, if it's that color, yeah. He is a full-blown redhead. It's definitely gonna, children's hair, especially if they've got a lighter color, it can go darker. But by the time they get to like this age, that's definitely going to be his hair color. And they had gone to a zoo or like a conservation project, and they were feeding animals. And then Meghan also posted Mama Doria, and I believe that's Lily in the pool. Mama Doria living her best life as she should. Now, I haven't heard anything following the whole situation with GB News, and was it Carol Malone? So I don't know if they're going to take that any further, but I still find it very interesting that they posted that non-apology apology and then took it down. So we'll see where that goes. And then Meghan also posted a picture of her and a giraffe. FYI, giraffes are actually my favorite animal, by the way. Sorry, give me a sec. I need to cough, folks. Giraffes are actually my favorite animal for many reasons, but mainly because of how they sleep. Yes, this is how giraffes, with them tall ass necks of their sleep. Now, sometimes they actually flop them all the way over their bodies. So this one's sleeping with the head on its back, using its back as a cushion, which I find hilarious. I just think they're the most fascinating creatures. But sometimes they literally flop their heads over, and I just find that hilarious. And there's Meghan feeding her friend giraffe. So cute, just living their best lives, happy, free, as they should be. And I'm so glad that Meghan posted this, just as Harry was flying out. Harry's gonna go do his business, win this case, and then go back home to his happy family. Now, I don't know how many of the days of this 9-week trial that Harry is going to be there. Will he go back and forth? I see a situation where maybe we might see him back maybe 2 or 3 times, because I don't think he would need to be there and be present for every single day of those 9 weeks. And there's also other people in this trial. So we'll see how this is all gonna unfold. Right. Before we get into the court stuff, let's have a laugh, shall we? And let's laugh at Piers Morgan. Because there's a lot to laugh about when it comes to this fool. Spent his whole life being a joke, a liar. And here he is getting some karma. Now, I believe that this is a karma warm up. The fact that this happens on the eve of Harry's court case, this is a karma warm up. This isn't the finale. This isn't the boss level of karma that Piers Moron is going to face. So, during the 4-year respite of the Biden years, Piers Morgan jumped onto the Biden is a doddering and physically compromised bandwagon. To be fair, Piers was not the only one. There was a whole industry based on convincing people that Biden's age and his occasional stumbles were somehow an impeachable offense. All of those people got what they wanted, a second Donald Trump presidency, and they're all choking on it. Well, Piers is 23 years younger than Biden. And Piers just fell and hurt himself so badly, he fractured his femur and he needs a hip replacement. Wasn't it just a few weeks ago that so-called Lady Colin Campbell, she also slipped in a movie theater and hurt herself so much she's gonna need like medical attention for weeks? He tweeted, breaking news, tripped on a small step in a London hotel restaurant, fractured femur so badly I needed a new hip, recovering in hospital, crutches for 6 weeks, no long haul for 12 weeks, new year off to a cracking start. This is the 2026 that Piss Moron deserves. Let me tell you something, 2026 is going to really bring some karma to some people, especially toxic men in media like Piers Morgan. This year is going to be a reset. The article says, I would never wish ill on someone, with a handful of notable exceptions, but I do enjoy when shitty things happen to evil people. I love moments of instant karma or karmic retribution in a timely manner. It's also fascinating timing, considering this happened just the day before Prince Harry arrived in London for his trial against the Mail, a publication which used to employ Piers. Anyway, a fractured femur and a hip replacement are no joke. So why am I laughing? We're all laughing because it is actually hilarious. I would never wish bad on someone. No, I'm wishing bad on Piers Morgan. I said what I said. I said what I said. I'm wishing bad on Piers Morgan. I'm wishing bad on all of Harry and Meghan's haters, actually. I said what I said. I want to see broken hips. I want to see divorces. I want to see it all. Because it's not even a fraction of what they have been wishing on Harry and Meghan. They're getting what they wished on others who have done nothing wrong. That's why we're laughing. Yeah, crutches for 6 weeks. I hope he didn't fall over on purpose and break his hip on purpose, because maybe there's something in them court documents that's going to have the courts dragging him into the dock. I hope that's not the reason why his hip is broken. Did he break his hip on purpose? Yeah, Piers Morgan has never had his day in court. Now, I don't know. I don't believe that Piers Morgan is involved in this particular court case, I don't think. But I feel like his day is coming. An absolute fool he is. Couldn't make it up. On the eve of Harry's court case? Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. This is definitely karma. Ain't no way this just happened to happen this week. Yeah, he's truly Aberrant cookies and cream. No I don't feel bad. No compassion for him whatsoever. This man has never showed any compassion for anyone his entire life. The only thing he feels bad about is when the zeros on his bank account are a little less this month than they were last month. That's what Piers Morgan feels bad about. I made one less zero this month than I did last month. And he's been making zeros all of his life off the back of other people's misery. Truly horrid. Anywho, let's get on to the next thing. We've had a nice chuckle. So let's get on to the series. Oh, and do you know who else is coming for? I might as well just say it now since I've got her picture here. Yeah, this one. This troll though. She better make sure she's checking the floor when she's walking. Make sure there's not a banana peel somewhere that she can slip on. Coming for her too. This troll though. Okay. So let's have a read of. Let's get everybody up to date, just so we're clear on exactly what's happening. For those of you who maybe haven't followed the trial, and why it's happening now. So Prince Harry has arrived in court for the ANL trial, feeling confident and ready. So Sadie Frost was also there, Liz Hurley, Baroness Doreen Lawrence, Simon Hughes, Elton John, David Furnish, other plaintiffs involved. And Harry will actually be one of the first to testify, give evidence, and it will be the second time Harry has testified in open court against a publisher or tabloid. And it's interesting to note that he is the only member of the royal family that is taking it to this extent, that is taking it this far, that is trying to hold the tabloids accountable, not just for what they've done to Harry and others and how it's affected their personal lives, invasion of privacy. He's the only one that's done it in this capacity. And so you have to ask, do the others not want justice? Do the others not see anything wrong with what the tabloids do? Of course they do. But unfortunately, the tabloids hold some level of power over them. The tabloids know their secrets. The tabloids will threaten to leak. And so you have a royal family that is, you don't have full transparency. Because when it's convenient, they're protected. And nothing scares the British tabloids and the Windsors more than Harry saying everything in open court and on the record. Sources close to Harry told the Telegraph that he's feeling quite confident about his trial. The 9-week trial, set to start on Monday, today, will hear from the 7 claimants who have accused the Daily Fail journalists, wouldn't call them that, of hiring private investigators to place listening devices inside cars and homes, blagging private records, phone hacking, paying police for information, and even commissioning burglaries. The Duke is expected to stay in the UK until Friday, okay, but has no plans to see Charles, who is in Scotland. So is William and Kate, apparently. Look at them all running scared. He is due to give evidence on Thursday and is prepared for the challenge, according to the source. Confident and ready are the words I'd use to describe the current state of mind, the source told The Telegraph. The Duke's claim concerns 14 articles that are alleged to have been obtained unlawfully. Among them are multiple stories of the Duke's relationships with former girlfriends Chelsea Davy, Cressida Bonus, and Laura Garard Leia, and an article concerning his and Prince William's anger over the publication of a photograph of their dying mother in the Italian media. The claim also includes details of a party planned by the two brothers after Princess Diana's memorial concert and his relationship with Twiggy Leg Burke, the Duke's childhood nanny. The litigation has been forecast to cost 38.8 million. Y'all. The litigation has been forecast to cost 38.8 million. A source told the Duke was fortunate to have the money and power to take on the newspapers and was not scared of the slings and arrows aimed at him as a result. Well, the point is that it shouldn't have to cost that much to take the newspapers to court to get justice. They shouldn't be able to just buy their way out of committing crimes. And that's basically what this is. Because who has 38 million? And even if you do have that money to throw around, does that necessarily mean that you want to spend that money? I find that shocking, and you can even hear my pause. 38 million. This is another reason why the establishment have worked so hard to bury any efforts that Harry and Meghan have put forward to be independent, to try and ruin their business deals, to scare people off of working with them. At one point, if you were mentioned in the same sentence as Harry and Meghan, it was just a vicious attack on your name, on your brand. And thank goodness there were some people that saw past that. Both the brands saw past that, and also the fans, the Sussex squad, even the non-Sussex squad who just wanted to support Harry and Meghan and support their causes and support, their business ventures. Thank goodness the right people saw past that, and Harry and Meghan's business ventures are going from strength to strength. The smear campaign was not enough to put people off entirely, because that was the point. People aren't buying their products, aren't showing up to their, shows. They're not coming to Invictus. They're not buying as ever. And they're not buying what Meghan's wearing and other designers she supports. Well, what does that mean for Meghan's brand? It means it's toxic. And that's what they wanted. They wanted to build a narrative of Meghan as a person, Meghan the brand being toxic. It did not work. And here we are at this court case. And part of the smear campaign was to get Harry to drop this case. And it hasn't happened. Harry has not dropped the case. And Harry and Meghan's brand has not been destroyed. In the eyes of who it matters, it has not been destroyed. But a huge part of all of that, like I said, was to stop Harry and Meghan from being financially independent or financially strong enough to do what Harry's doing. Because 38 million, that's not a joke. That shouldn't even be allowed. There should be a cap. So Associated Newspapers, the publisher of the Daily Mail, was expected to accuse Harry's lawyers of dishonesty, fraud, and conspiracy in its legal team's opening statement on Monday. The Mail's lawyers have already tried to muddy up David Sherborne and Harry, and Sherborne looks to be fully prepared as well. In the lead up to the trial, ANL and their tabloid allies have been trying their darndest to mock, belittle, and smear Harry, up to and including yet another emotional support poll showing that the British public absolutely hates both Harry and Meghan. Oh, no coincidence that they do it the day before Harry's trial. Please. You're trying too hard. Gee, I'm sure the the methodology behind the poll was completely above board. And we know that sarcasm because it absolutely would not have been. Listen, they can do all the polls that they want. Who even cares at this point? A poll to tell me what? That Kate Middleton's popular? What does that mean to me? And why do you keep telling me? And why do you want me to care? If she's popular, you wouldn't have to tell me. I'd still be following her the way I did for 5 minutes back in the day. When Kate and William, got married and they had all of our attention. They squandered that. Now, a few interesting details to come out of today's proceedings. We all know Katie Nicholl, yes, one of the Rota rats. So the claimant's opening statement accuses a string of senior Mail and Mail on Sunday journalists of commissioning unlawfully gathered information from private investigators. In a court document, they say so-called journalists and executives across the Mail titles engaged in or were complicit in a culture of unlawful information gathering that wrecked the lives of so many. The document claims that Katie Nicholl, now a well-known journalist commenting and reporting on the royal family, had commissioned an infamous private investigation firm, variously known as ELJ, TDI, and BDI, to get intimate information about actor Sadie Frost's Law's private life. This, the document says, included the termination of her pregnancy, something she hadn't even told her mother about. The journalist was operating a hotbed of unlawful information gathering, the claimants alleged. Now, can you imagine? There's something that you haven't even told your mother. So you're probably sitting there wondering, how did these people get this information? Was it the hospital that leaked then? And a newspaper and the public learning about something so intimate. Maybe she never wanted to tell anybody that. It's definitely no one's business unless she makes it her business to tell everyone. And I actually remember when this article with Katie Nicholl came out. And she wrote about, I was 41 and healthy and felt completely normal. How could I have a rare and aggressive liver cancer with an abysmal survival rate? Asked royal commentator Katie Nicholl. And I remember when this article came out, and a lot of people were saying, has she tried to pull out the sympathy card? Is the timing because of this upcoming trial? Because around the time this article came out, we started to get a little bit more details about the upcoming trial. And Katie Nicholl's name has been in the mix for a while. So has Rebecca English. Rebecca English's name has been around for a while. Rebecca English, who actually met Harry at one point back in the day during his early Invictus days. I think she was covering for I can't remember what it was she was covering for, but her and Harry did speak at some point, and she's just ran with that short conversation ever since. I think what scares me about the likes of Katie Nicholl and Rebecca English is they don't look threatening. Like, they don't have that threatening look. You could easily be fooled that they're perfectly innocent and decent journalists. But when you listen to them long enough, you realize they're really not. They are gossip mongers. So the opening statement document accuses the current royal editor of the Daily Mail, Rebecca English, of obtaining the exact plane seats, flight times, and travel plans of Chelsea Davy, Prince Harry's ex, in December of 2007. I mean, how do you try to write off that you knew about someone's flight times, you knew about, you had documents? They guilty as hell, in my opinion, every single one. Because they had to have obtained that information unlawfully. Because how would you know that? And so the opening statement from the document accuses the current royal editor of the Daily Mail, Rebecca English, of obtaining the exact plane seats, flight times, and travel plans of Chelsea Davy, Prince Harry's ex-girlfriend, in December of 2007. This, the document says, can only have been unlawfully obtained through Mike Bayer, a private investigator. Exactly. How would they obtain that information? Another journalist accused is Stephen Wright, a veteran Daily Mail crime correspondent. He appears on invoice records of Christine Hart, a well-known blogger, as well as making payments of thousands in cash for special contacts re Stephen Lawrence. That's the murdered schoolboy, the son of Doreen Lawrence. This is in reference to the claim of Doreen Lawrence that the paper targeted her during a period when it was supporting her campaign for justice for Stephen Lawrence. These are among journalists accused in the opening pages of the claimant's case and statement. It's worth noting that this is only the start of the case. The document alone stretches to 180 pages. The Daily Mail's publishers have denied all wrongdoing and will be given opportunity to respond to the claims as the case progresses. I would just have them all throw in the towel and be like, yeah, we're guilty, give us a penalty. I don't trust any of these tabloid fools. What else did I want to touch up on? Let me know how you feel in the comment section. If I was Rebecca English, I would just do the smart thing. Try and get a cute little clothing, swimwear brand done, and then just leave it alone. It's just not worth it to get involved in this mess at this point. All right. I think I'm going to leave things there. I think more things will come in overnight to do with the trial, and then I can maybe, cover those in a lot more detail tomorrow. But Harry looked great. He looked in good form. He looked confident. His style is looking more confident. And I feel like for Harry, this is like, oof, done it before, survived, let's do it again. And as however many times I need to do it, so that we can get to a good, comfortable place. All right. Let me just check if there's anything else that I wanted to mention before we'll hop back tomorrow, hopefully with more details about the trial and stuff that's come out from day one. Please do enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. Remember to go follow Meghan on Instagram. 4.4 million followers. Amazing, everyone. By the end of the year, let's get it to 10 million. 10 million followers by the end of the year. Totally possible, okay? Share it with your friends, and then we'll get there. See you tomorrow, folks. Ciao.